Good evening. I now call to order the regular meeting of the Diversity Commission for October 21st, 2025. Welcome, commissioners. Leon, can maybe please have roll call?
Longo. Here. Coffin is absent. Noonan.
Here.
Sheen.
Here.
Here.
Monju.
The public is welcome at this time to address the commission on items not listed on the agenda, but within the commission's scope. There will be an opportunity to comment on other agenda items at the time they are discussed. To make a public comment, please fill out a public comment card and give it to the staff liaison. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Please note that the commission is not able to engage in discussion with speakers. The commission may only accept comments into the record for consideration due to Brown Act laws. Leon, do we have any public comment cards? I'll now close public comment and move on to item 4, approve the August 19th, 2025 regular meeting minute. Commissioners, please take time to review the minutes if you have not done so while we wait for commenters on this item. I'll now open public comments on this item to approve the August 19th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. To make a comment on this item, please fill out and hand a public comment card to the staff liaison. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Do you have any public? I'll now close the public comment and bring it back to the commission. Does anyone have any questions or corrections to the minutes? Does anyone want to make a motion to approve the minute?
Motion to approve.
Okay. Thank you. To have a second?
Yes.
If you're in favor of approving the minutes from August 19th, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any no's? Okay, one abstain. 4 ayes and, okay, so it doesn't pass because we don't have a quorum to pass it if one person abstained.
So do we do it again next time?
So we'll have 2 minutes to review the next.
Okay.
Okay, the next meeting we'll review 2. Okay, we're going to move to the next item on the agenda. Our guest speaker, Dr. Ronald Richardson from College Park.
Thank you. Thank you.
A few weeks back, our commission invited a College Park principal, Dr. Ronald Richardson, to speak with us and share updates happening at College Park. So welcome to the Diversity Commission. I wanted to share a little background about why we wanted to invite you. So a couple of years ago, was it 2 years ago or 1 year ago? Yes. 2 years ago, we received a letter from the College Park community asking the Diversity Commission to support some of the issues around racial bullying that were happening at College Park. And we've been hosting some community conversations and thinking a lot about how we can support the community being the Diversity Commission. And we wanted to hear, I know it's your first year at College Park, but we wanted to hear how it's going and what you're noticing about the community and what kind of support we can provide for College Park as a Diversity Commission.
Wow, first of all, it's an honor to be here. I'm excited to be here. And I have some amazing parents here already. They are just amazing supporters of our learning community, but not only our learning community, but our city. I'm having fun and I love it. It's my dream to be in the position that I am. And as a father, as a husband, I'm also a Mount Diablo Unified parent as well. My son goes to Pleasant Hill, all my daughters go to Delta View. So I think it's important for our community to know that, not only that I'm invested, but bringing stability to our learning community. What does stability mean? It's not just about staying at a place, it's about addressing some of the systemic issues that plague our country, that plague our world, and then also celebrating the positive things that are happening at College Park, right? Well, some quick updates. I'll say I started off with doing some community mapping, right? And getting to know our parents, our students. I started in summer school once I was appointed. I started the next day on that Thursday during summer school. And what I learned is that my first step was to introduce myself to our parents, our community members, our staff, and our students. School culture and climate was a focus. Student voice, right? Students trusting the adults in the building, right, and in the community, but also being ready available for parents, right? Having when I say an open door policy, I mean it. Like, you know, I do I do provide my cell phone to parents because I'm always in classrooms or out and about, right? And I think it's important that parents have access to me, but also students. I think it's important that students have access to me. What's going on at College Park right now? One of the focuses, and I know Yonder is one, and a new thing that has happened in our country, but also in California. I know it's a state and federal law, but however, my approach in helping our scholars understand the why we're not just taking your cell phones. It's around human connection. Welcome to the 90s. And then that generational gap, right? But I think the rationale and why, that's one of the things that I'm very intentional around the language that we use. And when students understand the why, then they're like, wow, okay, I understand. And I would love for that. And that's what when you talked about to support our community coming in and asking the students how they're feeling. Because I thrive on when parents, students, even staff, that qualitative data and that quantitative data, but that qualitative data is so valuable, right? So again, so Yonder's going well, right? Do we have some hiccups? Yes, but I think it's serving its purpose, right? Around students focusing on human connection and also safety, right? We all know that at the secondary level, even elementary too, but at the secondary level, middle school, high school, you know, cell phones can be used in a negative way and it can be used in a positive way. But unfortunately, what we've seen in the discipline, which has reduced at College Park, 90% of our discipline issues have been, when I looked at the data, had to do with cell phones, right? Cyberbullying, other forms of attacks on social media, defamation of a character, right? You know, sharing someone's personal business or meeting with someone in the bathroom to do something that's not appropriate. But this year, a lot of that has dwindled down, right? And when I come back, I would love to share some data to show you the comparison from this year and last year. Suspensions have gone down. There's been 0 fights on campus during the day, right? We've had some incidents outside of school, but during the day, students know that, hey, when and if you have a conflict, here are the safe, embrace spaces you can go to report it, and something's going to happen, right? But one of the things I think the biggest thing is bringing awareness around ensuring that our students are culturally aware, globally aware, but also sensitive to culturally sensitive and globally sensitive on what's going on in our world. Building the cultural capital and social and emotional capital and the intellectual capital of our students, right? I think it's been very powerful. But also, I think it's surveying our students, right? Not just waiting for the Healthy Kids survey. That how are our adults, teachers, administrators, counselors, how are we surveying our students to see how they're feeling? But also surveying our adults too and our parents. Because all the engagements I have, whether it be our APAC, whether it be our school site council, ELAC, coffee and conversations, but I know that's another, that was so much fun in the summer, but how are we engaging with parents to where we're getting feedback from parents and students? Next, I would say that our VAPA, looking at all of our programs, I'll start with our VAPA program, who started off with a phenomenal start with our music program, right? Our jazz ensemble, our concert band, our choir, we just had our first play, right? And really not only seeing myself, but staff participate in those events are so important. And I hear from the kids, thank you for coming. And it's not just about the presence, it's that, hey, I want to be there, right? That's not that I have to, I want to be there. You know, I see them as my own daughters, sons, and nieces and nephews. But anyway, that our VAPA program, our visual performing arts, you know, based off of my experience and checking in with our community, how to support it more, right? And in the past, you know, having admin presence was so important. Next, I would say our athletic program is going well as well. And one of the things that I'll share with you that it's not just about the sport, it's how our students are engaging on and off the field, in and out the pool, on and off the court. I think it's important that one of the things that I want to highlight that we're working on is that we're creating a leadership for our scholar athletes around, because they're on, when they walk on campus, they're leaders, right? What about the scholars who do not participate in the sport, or who is not in our VAPA program and our music program? One of the things that we want to be more intentional on creating opportunities for all students to be leaders, right? I know we have our clubs. What about the students who don't participate in clubs? And I think that's where we need more help and guidance from our families and our community, right? And this amazing committee here to bring more resources and human resources to provide opportunities for students to demonstrate that they're leaders as well, that may not fit in that traditional category, right? And I think that's been going well around. One of the things my message is addressing the world issues. So I go for the macro, and then I go into the micro and how it affects our students and our families. One of the things I think has been very valuable, we started off the year with our school expectation scholar assemblies, right? It's called school culture and climate, student expectation assemblies, as scholars. And that was so powerful because students, when they hear the term school culture and climate, it was not about behavior, right? It's about how are you being civically engaged? How are you co-leading with your principals, your teachers, your counselors, all the adults, that the students know it's horizontal leadership. There's not this hierarchy. And I think that for me, based off of talking to parents and students, that's the feel from our scholars, that they feel just as much as leaders as the adults. And when and if something goes astray, they know there's safe spaces to go get support. So I think in those assemblies, one of the things that I think was powerful that needed to be addressed is things that have happened in the past, and things that are not only triggered our students in the past, but that are triggering our kids now, like anti-Semitic remarks, racial epithets being used on campus, the N-word, also, homophobic remarks, transphobic remarks, all these things that are Islamophobia, right? Addressing all those things. And when they hear it from not only their principal, but staff are actually addressing it and not ignoring it when it happens. I think that was a huge part of the trauma, where adults will witness things that are happening and then there will be no action or no response to address it, right? And I think silence is the most dangerous weapon. So now I'm being very vocal and intentional around all, not only staff, but students. If you see something, say something, right? So also restorative practices, right? I think that's been a huge, and that's just perfect for this phenomenal committee of Pleasant Hill. Restorative practices have been huge on campus. Do we have some areas to grow? Absolutely. As a father, but as a leader, we're always looking to improve, right? So I get the restorative approach towards discipline, finding other means of suspension. I also want to share with you too that there's different language, some terms that we're trying to shift, and we'll go to the academic program, right? But before that, around the term detention, right? I think it should be restorative, right? Family purpose, our redirection space, right? We have our wellness center. So when and if a student may be late to a class, no, we want that scholar. Let's find out why that scholar is late, right? They've missed some instructional minutes. So how do we provide support during the day, after school or before school, for them to make up the instructional minutes that they miss, right? Detention, just sitting there, just saying, hey, I'm being penalized for my circumstances outside of school or inside of school, doesn't help, right? So that's something I'm working on this year, to change the language on how we frame things around when we're holding students accountable, and building their leadership to hold themselves accountable. I'm gonna pause. Any questions before I go with our academic program?
Anyone have any questions? Yeah.
Love that you call them scholars and not students.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Quick
Yes,
question.
yes.
How is the with VAPA, the bond, the fine arts bond supported College Park? Was there a bond like a few years ago?
Yeah, and I'm still learning about that.
Okay.
But and based off of my knowledge, I don't think it's happening now.
Okay.
But if it is, I'll definitely get back to you on that one. But I do know that our boosters for our performing arts program, right, our music program is pretty strong. But I also want to share with you, that's another, that's the support that we need, right? Around how are we providing for, because I think that's the most underserved program, our VAPA and CTE program, that, our arts program too, visual and performing arts.
What's CTE?
CTE is our California Technical Educational Programs, such as our photography, yearbook, our glass. I know back in the day at College Park, it was wood tech and automotive. So strengthening our CTE program is very powerful. Where if we're really talking about college and career readiness, that we're also focusing on students who want to go straight to their career, but also students who want to go straight to college, right? And then straight to your careers, it's like going to a university, right? So creating multiple pathways for our scholars is the most important piece. So our CTE and VAPA program that's one of the focus groups to ensure that our students have outlets. And then also how to make learning fun in our most traditional classes like math, science, right, social studies, and how we're making it culturally relevant, right, across disciplines. And I think one of the things that our next upcoming October 27th Teacher Service Day, we're focusing on assessing student learning accurately, right? And we're focusing on what that looks like, right? And that parents, students, and staff understand what that means. I'll give you an example. Just because a student gets an A doesn't mean they're proficient, right? Are they mastered the standard? How do we have data we have evidence to show that students had multiple opportunities to demonstrate proficiency and mastery? And that's the goal. And through a visible rubric that parents and students can see, because a lot of the anxiety that happens in middle school, especially in high school, comes from grades and the lack of understanding why I'm not doing well in this specific discipline. Oh, I'm not smart enough, or I don't agree with this, or why is this happening? Like, why am I getting this grade? But when you implement grading for equity, what we're calling it assessing student learning equity, students are actually navigating their own learning, right, and taking control of it, right? So that's what at the next session I can speak more to that. But I'm excited about this work because we have to be courageous, and it takes parents, students, staff to have this ongoing conversation around how we're revolutionizing education. And I think College Park can be that beacon of light to share with other high schools in our country, whether it be Sacramento or DC. We have to make these shifts. We have to make it policy.
Dr. Richardson, so I'm not on the commission, but Chair Shavar said I can ask a question.
Yes, yeah.
I am a College Park parent. I observe you to speak differently than what I'm used to hearing as a parent from an administrator in all the positive ways. And I'm not used to hearing that from staff and instructors, teachers, faculty on campus, with no judgment about how they do present themselves. It just is different from what I'm hearing from you.
Yes.
So I guess I'm wondering, how are you helping that to be contagious? Like, to me, that's a learned way of speaking. It's correctional behavior. Like, before I go off on this student, I got to remember, think about what they've been through or how they got there, ask open-ended questions, all the stuff. So I guess I'm wondering, what are you doing? What tactics are you using to help bring your entire team on board so that it does feel like the way I feel hearing you, I hope the students feel like that with all the employees of the campus.
Yes. That's a great question. And one of the things that I'm excited to do this work this year, and repetition, modeling, but also I shared this in our APAC meeting yesterday in regards to student and parent panels. Like, parents and students, whether they're at a faculty meeting or ILT meeting, are being able to be a part of this discussion, right? And I'm seeing a shift in a lot of the teachers as well as we speak. But the more that they're hearing from our parents and students, there's a shift. And I'm doing it in a way to where it's the right thing to do. And when I did open up in our first faculty meeting on the 4th and 5th, I said, education is not a privilege, it's a right. And this is a civil rights movement, right? How are we setting up our students to improve the human community and use different disciplines that we teach? are in the different positions that we serve in. So to answer your question, being consistent, being courageous. When I say this, I'm saying this and being unapologetic when you're talking about righteousness, right? And then watching our students understand, because I'm huge on student voice, but I'm also huge on teacher voice, and that teacher voice and adult voice should be aligned with in the betterment of students, right? And I think the more that every faculty meeting and every ILT meeting or every classroom I visit or every speaking engagement with staff, I'm very intentional and repetitive around, hey, this is what we're doing, and this is where we're headed, and how can I support you to come along? And I think the more parents, I think the more that our community come together, kind of like the civil rights movement, that we do these demonstrations to say, hey, this is something that I learned that Dr. Richardson is doing. How can this manifest throughout our whole community? And I think that's the short answer, but I know it's hard because when you're dealing with fixed mindsets versus growth mindsets, I get excited to support fixed mindsets because I think with love, with nurture, with understanding, to understand that whatever their epistemology of the world is, it came from somewhere, right? Whether it be from the teaching credentialing program, whether it come from just where they grew up or how they grew up. And I think one of the things I want to share with you, I think I going back to the macro, that education was never designed for all human beings to succeed. And I come from that premise. And I said, that's why we're here, right? So I connected to that. I also, talked about generational trauma and systemic racism and how it affects each and every one of us. And when I come from that frame, it's transparent, it's honest, and people connect like, wow, I don't want to be that person to make this person feel this way. So doing restorative meetings around and staff faculty meetings around, name a time when you felt discriminated against. Let's talk about that. Now imagine how our kids feel when you do A, B, C, and D. For example, if a student, I believe that student should be able to retake a test, right? If a student does not do well on the test, I don't believe in the term fail, right? How are we giving that students multiple opportunities to demonstrate proficiency and mastery, right? How do we take it through error analysis? Like have students articulate and give credit for this, articulate, hey, I have an understanding where I went wrong. That's powerful. So again, like really looking at how we're assessing student learning in the different disciplines that are offered at College Park. So to answer your question, and I'm gonna need help. I think parents, students, and staff, and then highlighting those staff members who have demonstrated with fidelity on how to implement best practices in the classroom around project-based learning, universal learning design, grading for equity, assessing student learning equity, that those teachers get to sit in those classrooms and observe and treating our profession like other professions, like in the medical field. I did this example. I said, how many of you all have the most updated cell phone, right? And the reason why the cell phone is so powerful, right? It's in the innovation, because the trial and error, right? That there's hundreds of people in the room really assessing on how these work, right? And I think we should treat our profession the same way. How do we come together? Teachers cannot teach in isolation. So I think that's one of the things that I learned in the WAS self-study that I read, that I think our parents should have access to. It is public record. So what I learned in our self-WAS study, which is we have a one-day visit to see how we're doing. But I think it's so important that how we approach education is creating a strong professional learning community, to where we have a cycle inquiry on how we're assessing not only student learning, but how our teaching practices as well. And my practices as administrator as well, I'm constantly asking for feedback from students and staff, which I'm gonna do a better job of as well. So I hope that answered your question.
Any other questions? Do you want to say, I think maybe a few days after you were appointed, you came and joined us for Juneteenth?
Oh, yes, that was so fun.
So I do want to say thank you, and we're so happy you showed up, and that we've been really proud to have College Park participate in the last couple of years. Um, a lot of, a lot of what we do is plan events and plan celebrations and do proclamations, and we love to involve students as much as possible. So if there are other ways we can highlight some of the clubs or some of the community organizations or parent groups or whatever, we'd love your ideas, and we'd love to partner as much as possible to show off the work that you're doing to the city.
It's awesome. Yeah, I do believe that our elementaries, our middle school, and especially our high school, really sets the tone, not only in our city, but I do believe that can set the tone in the world around how we approach humanity. And just with social media and at its highest right now, how do we in Pleasant Hill? Because we all know not only in Pleasant Hill, but in many learning communities, there's a stigma, right? But I think what I'm addressing is like, hey, how do we address that stigma this is America, right? Like our ancestors have paved the way for us to improve the human condition, and we got to continue. So that's always been my approach. Especially that another term that our students deal with is with macro microaggressions, right? The stereotype threat, and everyone is experiencing that. So I think that's been a huge naming the things that are happening and doing something about it. I think is powerful. So one of the things that scholars will hear me name it, but also one of our virtues is don't be a part of the problem, be part of the solution. So, and when you're coming with these challenges that are happening in our community, what's the solution? And one of the things I think standing in solidarity, right? If we are going to address systemic racism, poverty, historically marginalized and disenfranchised communities and people, and it starts here. Educate, how are we educating our youth pre-K through, I'll say we're K through life, not just K through 12. And that's what I bring every day I walk on campus, right? Also, again, just having our teachers here, like sitting here and because I learned so much just engaging in the community with families, and there's so much knowledge. And I think that's a missing nugget, right? And I just growing up in the 90s, I've just told you how old I am. I'm almost half a century. But I think that's the missing piece, the counter storytelling, right? The village, it takes a village. And I think the students are knowing that. I'm so interactive with the scholars. And I think I told one kid, scholar said, Dr. Rich, you got more energy than us. I said, yeah, I got it. But again, I want to do a better job of just bringing this dream in fruition. And I think that's what the support I will need from you all and so many community members in Pleasant Hill and abroad, right? Not just in Pleasant Hill. Like how do we connect with different cities? Because we have these borders. You got Walnut Creek, you got Concord, you got my brother at Pittsburgh High. Like, let's come together, right? Because all our kids interact across the different corridors, and there's very similar things happening in the different high schools. But I think that's what's going to bring change in this country. And I pause because I love this topic. I love this committee because I think this should be on our campus too, right? Like, my last thing I'll say, I gave a parent and a student body wanted to start a nonviolence awareness club, right? And people think nonviolence is physical. It's more than that. It's being stereotyped. It's microaggressions. It's feeling out of place in a class or feeling judged, right? And it's that eerie feeling that you feel. So what I love when our scholars are saying that, hey, I feel seen. I can walk with my head high. I always say that, walk with your head high, walk in your power, right? How to be uncomfortable in uncomfortable situations. The only way you can be comfortable in uncomfortable situations that you have people who love you unconditionally that are going to address when you feel uncomfortable. So that's one of the things that I want to continue to bring to our learning community and city too. Yeah, because our kids walk the streets of Pleasant Hill, right? It's not just our school, right? It's walking this earth, and whether you're in this country or abroad, but when you're walking the streets in different communities, our kids feel a certain way. And why can't they feel safe in every city? Right? Social, emotionally, right? And mentally, right? So that's one of the things that we're talking about that I think is so important. The SEL, social emotional learning and mental health and cultural identity, right? And I think that's been powerful because our kids, I always say you have infinite identities, right? And I think that that's been a lot of kids say, hey, doctor, I never heard that before. What does that mean? So I always share, some of my identities, right? And it's infinite. I'm a father, I'm an uncle, right? I'm not just African American or Ghanaian or Nigerian. I'm a human being, right? I'm an avid reader, I'm a scholar athlete, I'm a twin. And when students start sharing their infant identities, it brings awareness, right? And so it's so powerful, right? So again, that's my update.
So, as a parent, I've been to, I go to the school often, yeah, to participate in different meetings. And, I've heard you talk, before, but today, it's like almost bringing me to tears to hear you talk because, I was probably sitting at this exact spot when I introduced the topic of what was going on at the school with our kids. And then, 2 years later, you're here and you're like saying everything that many of the parents and the children wanted to hear, and like even the staff, from feedback that I got from the staff. So I just want to tell you that I appreciate everything that you're doing and thank you.
Sandra, for your partnership too. Thank you for your amazing partnership. And yeah, it brings me to tears too, because being a parent in Mount Diablo and just my trauma, right? And I'm not afraid to share my scholars is my trauma growing up in this country, right? And it's real. But I celebrate it because we all are resilient, right? And I think a missing piece that our kids don't get a chance to share. And that's part of resilience, right? Sharing your trauma in a safe and making it safe, and you're not being judged when you share that. So thank you for sharing that. I think, and a lot of learning communities across our country, yeah, even at the university level, these conversations should be had in a consistent basis. And that part of our academic program is when you walk in the room, hey, well, let's do a restorative session before we start learning about the content, right? Let's talk about how you're feeling, right? And I think that's one of the things I want to do a better job of modeling for our staff. And it's so beneficial for scholars. So every time I see a scholar, I always say hello and how are you doing? That's the first thing I never say, why aren't you in class?
Do you think it?
Yeah, I think it sometimes, but when I ask them why they're not in class, I listen. Like, wow, I didn't know that. Oh, my mom had a flat tire, or I'm not having a great day, or there was a death in the family. Like when you ask I won't say the right question, when you ask a question that's connected to the human spirit, man, it changes the student's day. Right, thank you for checking up on me. Thank you for not assuming that I was just trying to go to DVC for lunch. Yeah, I just engaged with two students, and the way I engaged with them, it was so amazing. And they came back to campus, and we called home, and they're safe and sound in class. I just want to let you know like how we engage with students, right? And one of my last thing too around culturally responsive literature in every classroom, specifically in social studies and in English. And I think that would be a great, that's my daughter. I think that would be a great discussion with our teaching staff, because I remember reading Mice and Men in high school, and I walked out the class because it had the N-word in it. My mom said, don't ever subject yourself to that word. And I was able to educate the teacher in the class on why I walked out the class, right? That's a whole nother long story, but these are the type of things that giving kids that voice and that awareness that they have that power to do that too as well. So, but why just not have the book? Why? There's so many amazing authors of all backgrounds that I think our kids should have access to. And I think that's the support I need from the community around connecting with our Pleasant Hill Library, local library, so many libraries. Amazon, that's another question, but so many libraries that we have that our kids can have access to rich, culturally relevant literature and of authors from all backgrounds. And I think that's what's going to make the shift, because if we're looking at the data around why students are not performing well in math and ELA, which I can show you that 49% of our students are performing proficient or above in math, and in ELA it's pretty similar. So what's going with the other 50%, right? Why? The good news is that they're approaching it right there, right? And so I want to share that strength and that data, but our kids can perform well in these in math and ELA and other disciplines that we offer. And I just think it's our approach, right? It's not our scholars. It's like, how are we giving our students access to the curriculum, right? And then interventions too, like RTI. We do have an RTI program that's been running strong this year. But getting feedback from parents and students is how are we more strategic during that block of time of RTI? So again, that's what I like. That's positive. Like if a student is not doing well and are not performing well in the class, they need support, they can sign up on RTI on those block days, Wednesdays or Thursdays. If it's science or physics, Algebra 2, for natural algebra, a paper that they need to finish, they can sign up in RTI. But
What does RTI stand for?
I apologize, response to intervention. Yeah. So, and I think response to intervention should happen every day, because every day is a new day. Whether it be on the athletic field, I'm at all the I'm at all the athletic and VAPA events, and one of the things that we can turn our learning communities into that too in the classroom, where they're having fun. Where kids are looking forward to going to their water polo game, their flag football game, their basketball game. I think we can make that live in the classroom, and that's how I was as a teacher. Because they're connecting human to human. It's culturally relevant. It's relevant to them in the sport that they play, right? And when it's not, we do have a conversation about that, because there are challenges that come with sports too, the politics. But I just want to share with you that how do we approach education to make learning fun, right? But it's naming the inequities that are existing in the classroom and surveying our kids. And then once we survey our kids, we have to respond accordingly when and if they say, this is how I'm feeling in this particular class or school or sport or program. But so that's what I've been doing. And the goal is, going back to more what you just said, is that every adult has that identical approach or similar approach. I'll say identical. I'm saying that because I'm a twin. I'm a twin. Yeah, I'm also headed to our showcase today.
Oh my gosh, my daughter's wearing that.
Yeah, okay,
Mine too.
and they know I'm coming. I think.
Are all four of you at College Park there?
No, but there's a choir
Oh,
showcase
choir
that they have middle school.
Okay.
kids
Yes.
do, yeah.
I had like 20 kids say, Dr. Richard, are you coming? They're so used to seeing me there. So I'm like, yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, so I said I have a very special meeting to go to, but I'll be there. So I just want any questions. Just our amazing families, right? And nice meeting you too as well. But any questions you have or feedback, hear anything in the community, that's one of the things that I want to even do a better job as well, because our kids do navigate into the community where they're at, in and out, the library. But I think how they're carrying themselves off campus is just as important too. But I haven't had any complaints yet.
If we can help amplify any of these lessons that you're teaching, or, because we do have opportunities to share in the weekly newsletter, bi-weekly newsletter, and in the bi-monthly newsletter, I think it would be great to share some of this philosophy to all Pleasant Hill residents, so that we can, identically mimic what you guys are doing to bring all this inclusivity and approach to how we're living our lives in Pleasant Hill. So if there's opportunity to share literature with us or like themes that you think that we could help amplify, we would love to do that.
Or if any, like the leadership kids want some practice writing
Yeah.
proclamations or writing the
Oh, that's a
articles,
Great idea.
we can co-author. Yeah, join the meetings or something.
Yeah, that's so powerful. You know, going back to our leadership, we have 2 leadership classes, 4th and 5th period. One of the things I wanted to make clear that students who aren't in leadership are leaders too, right? But also leadership is not always about Spirit Week, right? Or Disney themes. How are we being civically engaged? For example, abolishing destructive language, doing a campaign on campus, abolishing the N-word or anti-Semitic remarks, toxic masculinity, right? And when I said that over the announcements, and I said this in the assemblies, scholars were like, "Thank you," right? Like, thank you for saying that. Like, this is something that's been happening in our learning community, and I think that's powerful. But also, I think community coming in, the conversations we have at home, right, matter too. I think that's and I'll share that with it's that conversation at the dinner table, right? And I think I'm so thankful for my mom that every conversation that we had was about improving the human condition, right? Going against the status quo, you know, addressing just things like, hey, my mom said, don't ever make fun of you. You don't joke around like you don't do that. And in those conversations and address everything, it's like I can't get away with anything. But I'm thankful for my mom for that. And that's what I want to bring. That it was from a restorative process, right? It was like the number one thing that I didn't want to do was just honor my mom. And what I'm learning with our scholars and in how I'm engaging with them, and when I'm correcting a behavior or addressing something where they made a mistake, they automatically say, "I'm sorry, Dr. Richardson." It's more so the respect and dishonoring what you learn around the best practices around being a great team versus, "Oh, you're suspended or you got detention." No, I didn't. Oh, I felt bad because I disrespected someone who loves me unconditionally and wants to lead me in the right direction. I think if our teachers and all of our staff have that approach, it's going to be it's going to be an epic year. I'm confident about that. But I think it's going to be even more if our parents are able to engage with teachers in the way that I am, right? And it's welcomed, right? Yeah.
Have you, well, I guess through some of the coffees and things like that, but what you said tonight, making sure that the entire parent community knows about that. And I think some do, probably a lot don't, but I think that's super important. And if there's ways that we can, highlight and, spread that message as well, we'd love to, because I think that's super, super important, especially with everything that's going on in our country right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think town hall meetings, right, where students are presenting side by side us, I think would be great. One of the things I'm working on too, I wish we had a video production class and just sending out videos. Parent square messages are one thing, but I think people respond maybe being more attentive if it's a video, right? Of course, I'm gonna have to rehearse a little bit. I was thinking like, how can I send a message out for all our families to just listen and because when you're saying it in it's a visual and to where you can replay it, right? And one of the things, and doing it with students too, like students doing video messages, parents doing video messages.
Yeah, maybe you could include it in your weekly newsletter. You can do a video, instead of like a lot of text.
Yeah.
Great YouTube channel.
I was gonna say YouTube channel, you could do private links, that's not available to everybody.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
That's a great idea for you to do that. The parents will listen.
And I was thinking about making it more of like a podcast,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like because when you're trying to regurgitate something, I did an interview with CP Block.
Yeah, I watched it.
And I was like, it was great because it was questions that you had to answer, right? And it was just so informative, right? So one of the things that I can do is that make it like a podcast where I have, students, even a parent. I'm like, hey, Dr. Richardson, tell me what you're doing about this and in a podcast I don't think any high school principal's doing that right now.
No, that's a great
Yeah,
idea.
my brother's doing videos though.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's doing these little
Do
videos.
you have
It's
identical
hilarious.
careers?
Yeah, she's the principal at Pittsburgh High.
Oh,
And right now I have bragging rights because Pittsburgh High and College Park flag football, they went against each other. I said, hey, I said, twin, I think we're gonna get you. And we did, but it was so beautiful because my brother and I, we took pictures with both sides with the teams, and it was just a beautiful moment. It was about family. It was more than just competition, and the College Park scholars and the Pittsburgh High scholars, really felt the love and felt like a family. So again, going back to the podcast, I think that would be a great idea. Whether it's one of my assistant principals or a student interviewing me, or parents.
Students would be.
Students,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it'd be a video like, and then.
and have them do the
Yeah.
editing and
Yeah.
production,
Yeah.
because then they can learn that
Yes.
process, because it
Yeah.
helps to be an influencer. for
Yeah.
them, so.
Include your staff so that they feel, included.
Yes, yeah.
That's cool.
And again, I think when the kids talk about grading for equity, census student learning or equity, because when I mentioned this, as census student learning, it has nothing to do with grades, absolutely nothing. And I think I'm constantly saying to students, there's no such thing as an advanced AP student, honor student, CP student, A, B, C, D, or F student. I think they're hearing that like, wow, you're right. I say you're scholars, and you're navigating this educational system where you're at right now, and how you do that. We want to guide you, and that's our job. So, again, we want all our students to have access to AP classes. So if you want to take an AP class, you take it. There's no, yeah, like, hey, and that was my brother and I's model. Like, hey, because we have scholars that may not demonstrate it in different ways, but when they have access to rigorous curriculum, our kids show up. So I think that's one of the things that in our country that I think all of our classes should be rigorous. K through 12. It shouldn't be AP honors, CP. It should be every scholar should have access to that rigorous curriculum. And then in that you differentiate. And I've seen it happen, it can happen, and it should happen. So again, that's one of the things with the academic program. Is that here in this body, we have the answers, but are people willing to listen? And I think that's where we're at right now, is how to get people to listen and observe. And I'm excited about it. And you said it best. It's not even 3 months in, and it's just been amazing.
3 months, slow down a little bit.
Yeah, and again, also facilities, right? Like really looking at our facilities, because College Park is outdated. What does a bond measure look like? You brought that up, and I think that's so important at the facilities at College Park. If we want to increase our CTE program, our VAPA program, we have to have the space. Right now we're at capacity. That would take maybe an annex building to be built, or another an annex building, 1-story annex building to hold our CTE class, like a video production class. Right, I can do
Auditorium. We
announcements.
need an auditorium so bad.
Mhm. So, yeah.
That MU room is no bueno.
Oh yeah, if we had a theater, arts performing theater, yeah, so I know those take bond measures, right? And I think that's the support we need, because I know facilities play a huge role in how students feel about their school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for coming
Thank you.
tonight. and
Thank
You're
you
welcome, thank
so
you, thank you.
We meet every month, third Tuesday, so you're welcome anytime.
You're
we'd love to
welcome
have you.
anytime. Any updates, like upcoming.
Okay.
Because I get ideas from all of the beautiful people in here. I get ideas from you all, and one of the things we want to reassure you that I bring this information back to our staff around my experience and my engagement with parents. And calling parents is so powerful. So that's one of the things that I want to share here. And I said this too. Just call parents and say, hey, Caleb's doing good, Myra's doing great, Tavia's doing great, doing the admin. Those messages are so powerful. It's not just, hey, so-and-so fell asleep in class, right? Just those connections, with parents. So again, I think that's one of the things that, I think it's happening at College Park that, our kids are happy, right? But I do think parents visiting classrooms, right? And just seeing for yourself what the instruction looks like. Having feedback from a principal is one thing, but having feedback from a parent is another. It's just as powerful, if not more. Right? So I think that's the support I need too. And the constant feedback. I think for me, it's constant feedback. Because if we don't grow, if we don't water a plant, and I see feedback as watering a plant constantly. And how we grow, right? Pick out the weeds. Because you can't get stuck if you don't get feedback. You don't know what you don't know. And
If you think of anything that we can partner together, the city with the College Park down the road, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna need support to keep the momentum going the next few years down the road.
yes.
Just brainstorm and let us know how we can partner.
We'll send invites your way when we have
Yeah.
community events happening. Yeah.
And I even visit, bring in, a vice principal with me and a teacher.
That'd be great.
Like our math department, is doing an amazing job right now around trying to revolutionize, how we're teaching mathematics, right? And they're using a module of assessing student learning actively as well. So, I think hearing from you all, the math department, like, wow, here's what our parents are saying and our community is saying, I think can really support the other departments as well. So, yeah, but I will be back.
Enjoy the choir show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah, they know I'm coming. That's the joy when I walk in and they see that, oh, you kept your promise, you're here.
You are welcome to stay for any part of our meeting you like or head out. We are so happy you came. So thank you for being
My
here.
pleasure and good seeing you all. Can I take this?
Yeah. Great, guys. Okay, we're moving to the next item. Okay, our next item is the appointment of the Diversity Commission Chair and Vice Chair. So following Chair Sprott's departure, and given that my time is up, but when we find a replacement, we do need a new chair and a vice chair. Would anyone like to self-nominate or nominate someone else?
Yeah.
That's how we do That was amazing.
Okay.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I'll be back.
Hey, now it's time.
Yeah.
Thank you so
You're welcome.
much.
Thank you, and I'll see you all soon.
Yeah.
For sure, thank you.
Are you willing to accept a nomination?
Yay.
Liz, no. Oh, Rita, who nominated?
I think we both.
We all like.
We all.
The entire.
Very
So
easy.
Noonan, and then do you want me to put second by Wen Chu?
Yeah, I do first and
All in favor of Lloyd as our new chair?
I guess I can vote too.
There's no
Well,
quorum.
I guess you can vote, he can vote for himself.
I can vote for myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
Right, I'm assuming there's no abstentions or nays, and then motion passes. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Would anyone like to nominate someone for vice chair? So really, there's not much extra responsibility just filling in when Lloyd can't be here. Liz,
I'm gonna
would you-
nominate Liz.
Okay. So I'll second that. All right, all in favor of Liz as vice chair?
For myself. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So is it the next meeting or do I pass this on now?
Oh, that's you.
She's like,
He's ready.
Would you like to take over?
I'm fine either way.
Okay, we'll let you handle it. Yes, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. All right, let's see. Okay, cool. Community feedback. Oh, anything else on appointment? Do we need to say any words or anything like that?
So what is your timeline for being as part of the commission?
I said I would stay till they find
Okay.
someone.
Okay, cool. So moving forward, what do we need to have for quorum? Is it 5 every time? Okay. Cool.
So we also have.
Alex, okay.
And they're still interviewing. Okay.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, so moving on, we will now move to item 7, community feedback, where input from the public can be discussed. In August, Councilmember Amanda Sakich shared an email with the commission that highlighted a few items. County clerk will speak to the city council at the October 6th meeting, which is now occurred, where she'll discuss Assembly Bill AB 1466, which mandates that all California county recorders develop a program to identify and redact racially restrictive content from property records. And I think everyone has the information in front of them. Okay. Councilmember Sakich also shared a paper she wrote, as well as the slides to presentation she previously gave on the history of the covenants in Pleasant Hill. And I think some of those documents were emailed, but we do have a few.
Yeah, Dr. Richard grabbed one, but
Yeah.
there's one still
Can I
here.
have that?
And then the slide,
The slides.
presentation are here.
One mention worth discovery, Councilmember Sakich found that the Dutcher company did the opposite of what most property owners were doing at the time these deeds were written. The company banned discrimination in its deeds. She has talked to David Dutcher about this, and they both thought that was pretty cool. Does anyone have any additional correspondence from the community to share?
Chair Jane, do you mind if I mention 2 things?
Please.
Well, one, Commissioner Blanco was present, so actually, I would say to you, I don't know if there's anything from, well, Commissioner Blanco was doing a proclamation on the same day that the county clerk came to the city council meeting, and she stayed afterwards. Thanks for doing that. And so she heard the presentation and the comments around the deeds. So I didn't know if you wanted to say something else before.
Yeah, well, she did offer, the services that they have at their office, if you want to go and find out about what your deed says. And if you wanna make any, changes to it, they can help you with that. So she recommended that anybody who is interested in doing that, you can go to the offices in Martinez, and they will be happy to help and retract any of that language from your, deeds.
And so just, I think that she had stated there are probably so many residents, and then Councilmember Sakich's point is even in Pleasant Hill, hence her paper and her presentation, where this is what many residents' deeds say, like one or some of those clauses are in the deeds today of the
Yeah.
houses that were built, I think she said between like the 20s to 60s or something like that, 60s, I don't remember the time frame, but her presentation is also available on the city council website too, or the city's website where the city council presentations are, but just very interesting. And so if you own your home and see this in your deed, as Commissioner Blanco mentioned, they will redact it per your request.
So it's up to like individual people to ask and find out.
Mhm.
And then any new deeds, like I'm assuming won't have this kind of.
No, they have it, I mean.
Yeah, when I bought my house, it was in our deed and it was
Mhm.
shocking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's all over, I've seen it in other cities, as I've bought
Yep.
houses in other cities, and I've seen it in other deeds.
So you have to know to look for
It's
it.
hard. Yeah,
And they are doing a mapping project with volunteers in, I don't know, it was Missouri, it was somewhere in located out of state. They have a group of volunteers who they're submitting these records to so that they can identify it. So I hear you asking, is something being done besides an individual person having to come forward? So once this mapping project is done, the county will be able to say, here's everywhere where this restrictive language still exists. But it is up to the homeowner to say, I want my,
Yeah, to
Yeah.
read their own. Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this just goes to, generational wealth and,
Systemic.
racism and everything. So, I really appreciate that. Commissioner Sakach, Councilmember Sakach, has been working on this. And I really appreciate what Dr. Richardson was mentioning, that that's a huge priority for him to make sure that we're addressing these issues and moving in the right direction to rectify them. So
It might be a topic that we evaluate for one of our community articles, and not only like educating people on this terrible history, but then how they can rectify it in the future. I have a feeling a lot of people have no idea that that's in their deed and that they have the power to change it. So that's, I mean, as it makes sense in the timeline to put that out there, that might be something to keep in our back burner.
yeah.
I agree, yeah, that we should have some action, and I think that's a great way to maybe at the next Outlook article or.
Yeah.
article,
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
or we can share.
Yeah. When is that like comprehensive study coming out? Yeah, the mapping project, because that might make sense to time it to that so that it's really actionable. Like if you want to know here, instead of, I'd love to do it myself. I didn't know that it was on me to go to Martinez and have, that's like very time consuming. Whereas if it's just served to me, I'd be like, oh, okay, here's,
Right.
Make it easy for people. Might be more impactful.
it's called the Mapping Prejudice Project. She said that actually was established, it is Minnesota, in July of 2022, but I'm trying to see if she listed in the election stuff.
Is it possible for us to list this information on our website?
To the commission's discretion, yeah.
What do you think, should sharing the slides or?
I think, all of the above.
Yeah.
And how you would rectify the situation. And we can, in the Outlook, in our article, we can reference back to our website as well.
Yeah,
So
good
folks
idea.
can find it a variety of different ways.
Gosh, it didn't, I'd probably have to play it to hear none of the slides referenced, but I will make a note. The commission would like to put information about the mapping project on the website. Is that true?
Mhm, mhm.
And then an Outlook article when the timing makes sense.
There's a website for the mapping of prejudice. project.
Cool. Great. Any other questions on this topic? Okay.
Oh, so there's one. So is this the one that we're talking about, the mapping prejudice projects?
On Trust County, because she's the clerk recorder.
Okay. Great. Now we're going, if there's no more questions or comments, we're going to move on to item 8, review of diversity commission calendar. Commissioner Noonan. Proclamation,
Yeah.
observations, etc.
Alrighty, so Homeless Awareness Month is our next one. And I'm going to write the proclamation for that one. And sorry. fine. Alex is going to receive it at the council meeting. We also need to talk about our Diversity Commission Annual Report, which we've anticipated to present to the city on January 5th. Last year, I pulled it together and the team provided feedback, which was super helpful. Team meaning all of the commission. I'm happy to take first crack at it again, or if anyone wants to own it, I'm happy to pass it along. Would anyone like to own the annual report for the commission?
I can start it. this-
Okay, and I can send you last year's if that's helpful. Yeah, okay, great.
I can, of course, I think January 5th is fine.
Let's say it's Monday.
And just as a heads up, it always is a kind of touchy moment of the year because it'll be at the December 1st city council meeting of the new organization. So it's not for them that the council appoints who the new mayor is among the 5
Oh,
members.
gotcha.
And then it's that new mayor's mayoral privilege to approve the meeting calendar.
Oh,
So
okay.
we tend to cancel one of the 2 January meetings,
Okay.
but it's their decision to say that that's gonna happen or not.
Okay,
And so it could be January 5th. I think the 26th is the other potential date, thinking of the 1st and the 3rd.
Okay.
But just heads up about that.
good.
You can be nimble.
And we can kind of figure out who does the presentation, if we want to do a joint or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And I would love to ask as many commissioners as possible can come out that night, because it will be a nice chance or nice opportunity to be there as a group in solidarity.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Okay. Now moving on to, any other questions there? 8.1? No, that's okay. 8.2, event volunteer request, light up the night, November 22nd, and the menorah lighting on December 16th. So did we decide what we're doing for, oh, sorry,
Go ahead.
have we decided what we're doing for light up the night yet? I don't think we have.
Just things to consider.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, perfect. That's nice, my favorite.
It's really early this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was a preference to still have the train,
Yeah.
and I guess it was booked on all the other
Is that why?
weekends or whatever the day of the week that they usually have it on is.
okay.
So what are we gonna light up if that tree is that a different tree? The tree lighting is down here. Okay.
We're excited now, because the next one is November.
That's what it is. It's November
Yeah.
22nd and your commission meeting is that same week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there won't be time.
So, yeah, we have to
We'll do it
decide.
now.
Okay,
I'll
go
be
ahead.
out of town that
Okay.
weekend. That's my niece's bat mitzvah.
Yeah, it should be.
What suggestions do you have? You said there's some suggestions?
On the Saturday.
Oh.
Oh, no, notes for whoever was gonna facilitate this conversation
Oh.
about what needs
Oh,
to
oh.
happen by the end of the meeting.
Yeah, so tonight's the last night we can confirm whatever we need to get purchased, confirm who can volunteer, et cetera, because the next meeting is November 18th. I know we've done seeds in the past. I think we talked about doing something different.
What are the other commissions? Do we know what they're doing?
The Commission on Aging has not decided yet.
I think community conversation, sorry. The Civic Action Commission, they're doing letters to Santa, I think.
Oh, same as it.
Yeah.
What time is it again? This
4:30 to 7:30.
to.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I can.
I received feedback that for light up the night, it would be good if we did something related to diversity because
Hmm.
they didn't think that the plans had anything to do with diversity.
They had one of the words, right?
Yeah.
Mission, but I can see how that got
I could
lost.
see it, yeah, but I thought that was nice. But good to know. That was the feedback.
There are a lot of different New Year's traditions around the world. I don't know if like there's something we could highlight, but a lot of different cultures celebrate New Year's in different ways. I know, I always have a hard time with Light Up the Night because it feels very like Christmas and Santa focused, so I don't usually bring my kids to it. So if something, I don't know, something that shows how other, like, but I just don't know like what somebody can make, because that's what you want to do
Yeah.
like an activity.
Activity.
Yeah, that's not too expensive, right? I think like people create New Year's resolutions. I don't know what would be fun for kids.
It might be too last minute, but do we want to organize a drive that supports a local LGBTQ group or some other underserved community members that, I don't know, like it might be too last minute to try and market it, but instead of an activity, it could be like people can donate stuff. Yeah.
Something drive, then like collecting and.
Yeah, it's not too much.
Unless, we could work with potentially, I mean, I don't know, like the food bank of, the food bank and like kind of put it out to everyone to, I don't know if we'd have time.
Yeah.
Bring a can or whatever the case may be, or socks or something.
Yeah, I was gonna
Maybe
say
something
clothes,
simple.
maybe easier because it's not so
Socks
heavy.
Yeah.
What about making like a holiday card for someone in a nursing home or something?
Yeah.
So at the community service, they are volunteer at the White Pony Express. So I remember I don't know if you have time to do it, but then I know they sometimes have volunteers write cards for like single family housing that you're doing great or something like that. So maybe we can do like a holiday version. But then like to write some cards for them or to decorate some cards to send that for families that is like that they serve the community. And that is arts and craft and has a purpose also. But again, it's not diversity per se, but it's to helping out the community.
I probably don't have enough time.
That's correct.
Like working with the Commission on Aging to putting something together to
partner
help,
with them.
yeah,
Yeah.
since they're still trying to figure out what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Um,
I just watched this last one, but I didn't watch the one before. The one 3 months ago, they talked about like a ornament decoration station that could then be donated to like community like senior living communities. But I think the issue was that the kids would decorate it and then leave with it. They wanted to keep it.
And that's
I don't know if
probably
there's
why
something.
people who celebrate Christmas.
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah, Temple, we made candles once. That was fun. You can like roll the I don't know how expensive that material is. Like you have the wick and then you roll the wax.
yeah.
But there are lots of different cultures that use candles.
I wonder if you
True.
could get like a candle that like inexpensive candles that they could decorate with like puff paint and stuff like that.
Oh, even like the circle, the cheapest version.
Yeah.
Like the whole bag, the white one, like the really small white one, you can glue something on it. But then it's not
Interesting.
that fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a stretch, I guess, in terms of like how we're promoting inclusivity with decorating a candle.
Lighting up the night with the candle.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
Bringing lightness.
There you
Or
go.
the candle is just basic, but then maybe the ornaments on it could be like the Asian, like the Chinese New Year stuff, and then the different culture ornaments. I don't know. It's a stretch, but
I'm just looking up candle making. kits.
Hmm.
How many people do we usually accommodate? Like 100? No, 400?
Last year, I think maybe like 100 or two. But
So,
not.
so who owns this event? The city?
Mhm.
And then they're just saying we should have a booth there?
It's a joint event between the city and the downtown district. I don't know that the district itself is like the property management company isn't participating, but all of the stores are along the downtown district this year.
Is the rec and park, I don't know, is it park and rec or?
Rec and park.
Rec and park, are they part of the events?
Like, will they have a booth there, you're
Yeah.
saying? My guess is that they will. I'm not on the committee, so I don't know for certain, but probably.
When I went to, the multicultural event that they had, and, I was volunteering there, and the lady that, does all the events for the Rec and Park, she said that she would love to, work together with the Diversity Commission more. You know, she said that she knows that we do events, and then her job is to be a full-time event person. And she said she would love to collaborate with us. I forgot her name, but I have it somewhere. But she's like, we'd love to collaborate with you on anything that you're doing because that's what I do full time. And I'm always looking for ideas. So we could contact her and find out what, if she has something planned already and we could support that. I don't,
I mean, they have a budget. They
Yeah.
have.
that's, she mentioned that
You know?
too. Yeah, she said we have but we have everything,
Uh,
like, and we can help.
Oh, how much budget do we have for this event?
I don't think we've determined, have we?
Correct.
How, do you remember roughly how much the materials were?
It's pretty cheap, it's like a
Few $100s.
it's
Okay.
cheap, yeah, it's not that. much.
I mean, I would, because we obviously don't have very much time, maybe Sandra, if you wouldn't mind reaching out, and can we,
Yeah, her name is Liz Harrison.
okay, would we need to establish a quick committee to put something together?
I think that's a pretty safe idea because then you all are sort of blessing whatever decisions they
Yes.
make about it. And maybe also vote on a budget to be used for this program specifically.
Sandra, I would like to nominate you for the chair for this quick committee, if you wouldn't mind, just so because you have the connection there, but I'm happy to help out.
Yes.
So we can just like get something going and support, hopefully support whatever they might potentially have going on.
Yes,
And I think that's kind of an easy fix.
I will contact her tomorrow.
Just an inexpensive idea that I just found on a Google search. If we get like a big poster board, we could ask people to draw or do some kind of craft on the poster board about like what the holidays mean to them.
I like that.
And then I think it's a really easy way for people to participate, and then we could potentially hang it in City Hall or something, and it's very low lift for us in
Yeah.
terms of supplies and things like that. We would just really need to invest in what the art canvas is and where it's gonna stand, and then just some art. I like that.
And then Education Commission did that for Juneteenth, remember they have a.
Oh, yeah, the quilt.
Yeah. I think there's something,
Similar.
yeah.
Do you have?
Just that then it ended up needing a landing place. So by the way, please come visit me. The quilt is in my office.
Oh my gosh, no way.
And it is actually very beautiful.
Yeah.
But yes, it is. It is not- I don't know that I have space for.
Where's the menorah lighting this year? Could it hang in there wherever we?
It's in the main.
Yeah, maybe it could be there.
So do we want to do that instead, in addition to?
Maybe
what are we
just something
thinking?
to, I love Sandra's idea about partnering with the Rex and Park and see if there's something we could do there. This could just be a backup idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will email everyone when I hear from this. Harrison, good.
Do we need to, because if that falls through, we have our backup.
Yeah,
There's
Um,
five spots.
Okay, do we need to actually have a committee established to, yeah, so, can we have a motion to establish, a committee for our Light Up the Night? And, I think Sandra will chair and Liz will co-chair,
sounds
or
great, yeah.
Sorry.
chair, sorry.
Sorry, so I have a motion,
Uh-huh.
and then who were you saying seconded the motion?
Oh, I'll second, sorry. I'm sorry, do we need to establish the committee with chairs already established, or do we make that on the second?
Oh, that's clever of you. I'll follow your direction on that one, Chair.
Okay, yes, I think I'd like to, establish a committee with Sandra as the chair and Liz as the either co or vice or
yeah.
support, or however, whatever works.
Yeah.
Chairs.
Okay, co-chair, perfect. So do we have a motion to establish a committee with, Sandra and Liz as co-chairs? I don't know.
Make that motion.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I get the motions, yeah.
All in favor?
Right?
So when do we need to, what's the deadline to get all this finalized?
Sandra's gonna reach out right away to Rec and Park. I assume we'll probably know, it's Tuesday, hopefully we'll know by Friday. Because we need to know right away, if, we need to go and, purchase any supplies.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it up to the committee to make that determination on what needs to be purchased, and if you need support with any of that, you know, here to help. Does
Perfect.
that work?
Yes, and I think maybe another motion for what budget would be used.
Okay. And could we, have a motion to establish a budget of $500? Is that okay?
Do we have that in the budget to give? Yeah,
Okay. Is there a motion to, put forth a $500 budget for the Light Up the Night, committee this year?
motion.
Thank you. A second? Thank you. All in favor?
Hi.
Wonderful.
And just real quick on the logistics do we set up on the 22nd at a specific time? How long, do we need to establish shifts? Just so we're thinking that through.
Yes. So it's 4:30 to 7:30. In the past, have we? in the
So that was
past-
really quick, like 15.
Okay,
Yeah, I think we had two shifts and one was from 4 to 6, then one was from 6 to, no, yeah, then one was from 6 to 8.
Yeah, to clean up. Cleanup was also pretty.
6 and 6 to 8, okay. I mean, I can be there the whole time, so.
Much shorter commissions. I'm sorry, I can't. help.
Yeah, I can read it the whole time.
I can too, I think,
Okay.
just like last year,
Yeah.
the night before my birthday, so.
Should,
Actually, last year, I think it was my birthday, so.
My son's birthday is the 23rd.
No way.
I could do the first shift.
okay,
I'll plan to be there the whole time, but if I'm running late.
first, and then Sandra, Liz, all, and then, you know, of course, we'll invite Alex to attend as well.
Cool.
Okay. That sounds great. Anything else there?
If there's anything we can do with the students.
Ask them if they want to help run the booth.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they can take some shifts.
Can we have, yeah, we can have, I mean, I'm sure they'd be open.
I don't know about volunteers, but I don't know, something they could do.
Do you have to have service hours for you to have kids? at
I
your
mean,
school?
a lot, CSF, I know, has service hours. NHS probably has service hours.
Yeah, so we would count because we're a nonprofit, right? Or are we a nonprofit?
No.
We're city commission, but I think you would still get service hours, wouldn't you? I don't know the answer. to
So
that.
for
That has to be
CS,
established.
for CSF, as long as it's not like a profit,
And we're not a,
And city events are always free to the public.
Yeah.
Does that count, do you think, towards?
yes, as long as they're not getting paid or great, then it should be okay. And it's not like you can't volunteer at your own church.
oh,
Like,
okay.
you know,
Are we allowed to have volunteers from the public?
Thanks for asking that. Yes, however, there would always have to be a commissioner present at your booth
Okay.
in case the public has questions about the commission specifically.
So we can bring our family members.
That would be just a plan B, I think.
Okay,
Should we cap how many people can volunteer just so it's not smushed?
oh, for student,
For students, like maybe 5 or less, I don't know. I have no idea if there are people are clamoring to get volunteer hours. I just would hate for like a bunch of people to sign up and then there's nothing for them to do and.
Yeah. I
Thing to
think that
consider.
would be a lot of effort from our part to try to get together.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe we keep it in mind for the next event.
Yeah. Okay, I think we can move on.
May I just invite whoever ends up needing the purchases to just do that backwards planning of like, when do you need it? And therefore, when do you want me to get it? If it's a Michael's run, that could even be same day, right? But if it's an online order, I just need to know as soon as possible. Or sooner than later.
The process that you usually purchase because you have like
Yeah.
a card or whatever.
Okay, yeah. And we can reimburse, but why would?
Yeah.
let's do, yeah, front that.
okay. Wonderful. Now the next thing would be the Manila meeting on November 16th. Brianna, do we need any assistance from the commission?
no, it's gonna be, I think at 7, it's a Tuesday night, I think at night of Hanukkah. But Temple Isaiah, the rabbis will, and the cantor will run it. And we had like, some games after, but we just need people to come.
To the city hall.
Yeah, so I think we'll do it inside just in case it's cold or the weather's bad. But last time we did, the lighting in there and then some games in here after.
Is there a College Park group that we would want to invite to make sure that they are, at least invite a College Park Jewish connection group of some sort?
Yeah, they have a JSU there.
Okay, so we should definitely invite them.
I do have a cousin who's an officer on that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Ask him.
That's great.
I will ask him if they want to, yeah, I can send the invite.
Mhm.
Yeah, it should be fun. We had a pretty good turnout last year.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Such a good
Turnout.
event. Yeah.
But yeah, I think once we get a flyer, I'll share it with you guys to share out.
Thank you. All right, any other questions there? Okay, and then the only other thing is save the date, December 18th from 6:30 to 8:30 for the Pleasant Hill Volunteer Appreciation Reception. That's December 18th, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Okay. All right, any other questions?
Nope.
All right, moving on to 9.1, community conversations. Noonan and Sheen, United Against Hate Planning. This week is United Against Hate Week. The commission was not able to meet last month and did not plan any event. Lyon has a poster here tonight in case we would like to take a group photo that Jeff can post on social media.
Yes, and I did type that, but it's just in the office, so I can run, if you all wanted to do a photo, I can, but there's no pressure around it.
I saw the city photo, which was very nice, which is posted, very nice. I think we're
Good.
I'm good.
okay. In regards to community conversation, I didn't want to bring it up because I know we need to discuss, and maybe that can be for the next meeting, but let's do something with College Park. Yeah. And like use their support and, you know, I think definitely, so we can discuss. So, yeah, we can discuss. For the next meeting.
And one more thing about that,
Hmm?
the education committee is planning a community conversation event. And they asked me to be a part of it. So do I have to get approval from the commission for us to be part of it?
So it would be joint with the Diversity Commission.
Yes.
What's the topic?
So they want to have like a diversity conversation with the community where they have people from different backgrounds, like as a panel, so very similar to the event that that I had talked about before.
Do they have a timeframe?
They are thinking about starting maybe March or April.
Oh, okay, so we have
Yeah.
lots of time, okay.
Mhm.
Is that something that we can put on the next agenda to discuss? And, oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say yes, and I think you asked a moment ago that something additional be put on the agenda for next one.
Community conversation with College Park, and maybe that could be, I mean, maybe we could put it all together.
Yeah, so they want to do it like they want to have, I think, 3 events, one of them at College Park, one of them at one of the middle schools, and then one of them at DVC.
Okay. That's great. So, we have our community conversation committee. Do we just, because the 3 of us can still discuss because that's not quorum. So should we just kind of get together and discuss what next steps look like in regards to that?
Well, they're leading it.
Perfect, but we still need to, because it would be a joint effort, we still need to have, our representation and everything, so.
Are we allowed to, like add Sandra to the committee? And that way,
I think she was. But we can add her back.
and then that way you guys can plan it with them, so like without having to wait for one of our meetings.
Yeah, that was kind of like why I brought it up, because
Yeah.
they're gonna start moving on it. They're not gonna be sitting around waiting for stuff, so
Great,
they already have a plan. And they were going to discuss it at their next meeting, which is happening.
this week? Is it?
Yeah, first, this Thursday.
Yeah, I don't know when their meeting is. And so I just wanted to bring it up because I didn't know, because they
This
asked me
Thursday.
this Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, so after that, I was gonna hear from them and see how to move forward with that.
So do we have a motion to add Sandra back to the community conversation committee? Is that what we're saying?
Sure.
Is that
Why
okay?
do I have to be added if I'm a
So you can-
commissioner?
So you can communicate with them outside of this meeting, like by email, and it doesn't like violate
That's fine,
the
okay.
Brown Act. Like that way you guys can discuss the business and then it doesn't violate,
Brown Act.
yeah, that one.
So when I hear back from them, what would be the correct way? Would I include?
You can email the 3 of you guys can email together.
To let them know when they will be meeting for the first time?
Yes, for next steps and things like that. And then we can make sure that once things get a little bit established, we can, whenever the next meeting is, we can bring in Dr. Richardson perhaps, and, et cetera. Because I would assume they'd be working with College Park or all the principals anyway. And our new, sorry, which middle school?
They didn't decide which middle school yet.
Okay. And then elementary, okay.
Sorry, did someone make the motion? Or-
Do we have to like officially vote on people on committees or no?
The subcommittee does already exist and it is the 2 of them.
Okay, so to add someone, we have to vote. Okay, I will make a motion.
And I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Okay. Any other questions there? All right. Pleasant Hill Business Spotlight, at the August commission meeting, Commissioner Blanco shared the idea of highlighting businesses run by women of color and additional business owners of color. Our staff liaison, Leo, was going to look into the possibility of doing this and
Sure, so I did talk with staff about the possibility of doing that, and the information that I got was positive about moving forward with that idea. There was some advisement offered that the invitation to business owners would need to be self-identified in terms of and probably geared more towards what makes your business unique or special or
Where are we on the agenda? I'm sorry.
Sorry,
9.1.2.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
So if you all are wanting to spotlight businesses, then you would just need to be not more specific, less specific, it probably would be, right, with your framing about who you're inviting so that it can be inclusive and so that people can report or self-identify as a unique business or as a minority business or a diverse business or a niche business, something like that. So if that's something you all would want to continue pursuing, you probably could form another subcommittee or a single person on the project.
And where would we list or highlight or acknowledge these different businesses?
My understanding is that would be part of the work of
The
whomever
committee.
here. Yeah, there'd probably be partnership with Jeff
Okay.
to do some spotlights. There was, so the Economic Development Division did pay a contractor last time when they did all of those spotlight videos. So it really would, and by the way, our economic development manager left and actually got a promotion in Antioch, excuse me. So there would be a little bit of a wait time until that person's hired, just to be able to tap into those resources.
Okay.
But if it is something you all are wanting to do, there is space and room to pursue that.
When you say what makes your business unique, is it the personal story of the owner or the story about the business? Just so I'm clear.
That could be up to the diversity
Okay.
commission's discretion, I think.
Cool.
Okay, so what do you think, folks?
So if this is something that we all want to do, I think it would be cool to maybe launch. Well, actually, this is Sandra's idea, so I won't step on it.
No, please.
Okay, I was gonna say, if we wanted to launch it, I think it would be cool to like put together a calendar starting in January for 2026 and really like plot out over the next couple months, like who we might want to invite to be featured and not bite off more than we can chew in this first year and maybe do like one a month. And I could help with the videos if we wanted to do video and the editing and partner with Jeff. I think it would just need to be like really planful in terms of like, we're doing the video, we need to, film it the first week of the month and then edit it the second week. And, I think it's going to be a bit of a commitment, but I think it could be really cool if we plan into it. So 2 cents on how we might approach it, but
I like that, yeah, just to plan it out for next year. And then I was just thinking about something very simple, like I don't need a crew.
yeah,
I don't think we need to hire, a special
that's what I was
person.
thinking.
I mean, just with the phone, I was just thinking to introduce the person and their business, like 2 or 3 sentences, and then write under that like a somewhat of a social media post that highlights even more, what was said on the video, but nothing more than that. I wasn't thinking about like a whole 1-hour interview or anything.
No, yeah, same.
Well, before getting into, I don't like establishing a committee, just some things thinking about, we'll have to put together some sort of wording,
Yes.
so we can, find out who's, interested in participating, and then find a equitable space to provide that information, so folks have access to that. So I don't know if that's just on our website, I don't know if that's in an Outlook, I don't know if that's in the biweekly, but just kind of, so those are just some of the things.
You mean like a place where people could nominate folks?
Exactly, or
Okay,
find out about it, and it's gotta be so everyone has access, right?
Well, so part of the way that I'm envisioning
Mhm.
is that I would like our commission to be more hands-on and involved with people in the community.
Perfect.
So you might already support a business that is a minority business, owned business, then you might have a list of 2 or 3, and then we all have that, so that the invitation comes directly from a commissioner.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, there's a diversity commission, and we can introduce, so instead of like having people submit randomness, like I'm looking for more of a personal, we're involved with the community, we're talking to the community, we're supporting them.
So more of a hand-picked kind of from us.
From us, yeah,
Okay.
from the diversity commissioners.
So if I can add, that could be sort of one of the latter steps in the process. And right now, the only thing I can think to compare it to is how the CAC does meet, and they are the ones who pick the concert performers. But there does have to be some sort of process to allow business owners in the city to put in on this, because this commission is of the city. And so the commission can't pick only certain groups, only specific groups. They would have to make this opportunity available to business owners, period. Now this commission could narrow it only to Pleasant Hill business owners, right? And I say that might seem like a duh, but sometimes we have folks right on the border of Concord or of Lafayette. We're right there in Pleasant Hill. We get tons of Pleasant Hill residents, and the commission could say no, just limited to Pleasant Hill. But that's why I was saying the invitation would have to be even more broad to say, like, we're looking for what makes your company unique, or who are you serving that maybe is specialized, where it's hard to receive your service or find your service, or what, is so special about your service. And you could have folks submit in or nominate others. They don't even have to be self-nominating. And then you all could look at that data and, build your calendar about who you're highlighting.
Well, what if we already have a list of people that we want to interview?
Then I think the response is that list can be included, but the entire public hasn't been given the opportunity if this is something that the commission is doing, because the commission is of the city.
So we could have an open application or whatever, like that, submit your entry. And then if you had a list, you could submit all those entries into the pool.
I actually do love the idea of a nomination, because I frequent downtown Pleasant Hill, and I probably would just nominate when I know, and there's probably lots of businesses I have no, exposure to. So I love the idea of getting the nominations, but then to Sandra's point, like, why don't we all take a look at the nominations and then take it upon ourselves to visit as a commissioner and say, hey, your community member nominated you, and I want to get to know you, and I want to get to know your business. Like, that's extra work for us, but I do think it's cool.
Well, so I don't know how to make this happen, but I would want the commission to be more focused on people instead of events. So like direct contact and direct impact with people. When I went to one of the council meetings, the Education Commission made a presentation for what they do, and I was very surprised about how they go about connecting with the community. It's very different than how we do it. We're events focused, and they're not. they are focused on going into the schools, talking to this principal, talking to this, that over there, doing this with the kids at this school. So they are actually like in the community, like the people know who the Education Commission is. And for us, we just have a booth somewhere all the time. And for me, that's not making an impact in the community to have a booth with stickers or something, you know? So that's why I'm trying to come up with ideas where we can engage with people in the community, and this is one of the ideas. But, you know, it has to be a collective decision, right, on how we want to move forward within the commission. I mean, if you all want to keep doing events, then that's what it is, right?
Well, I think we just establish a committee, and that committee will decide on what that's supposed to look like, and will, you know, bring those findings back to the commission as a whole, and we can kind of go from there. Does
Yeah.
that work?
And like you said, you know, it would take time, but I'd rather spend time with the community than being at an event for 10 hours with a booth
I agree.
and stickers. So I'd rather do the 10 hours in the community, talking to the people so that they know that the city of Pleasant Hill supports them.
And, oh, go ahead, sorry.
So it sounds like for this spotlight, it's more about we're spotlighting the owner of the business more than the business itself.
No, it would be the business.
But then but then you're more interested in the story of the person versus what are they selling or what are they making in the restaurant.
No, it would be
We want
both
both.
both and.
Yeah, just to highlight that there are a diverse group of business owners in the city, and like there, like you don't have to go to like a national franchise. You can go to
Right.
somewhere local and that celebrate like the many cultures we have.
Yes.
I think it's great. It sounds like a first step is just like the language around like how we would invite people to nominate, and then we could use that and go out into the community and say, meet people and invite them to, or invite them or nominate them ourselves, however we want to do it.
And at the end of the day, I mean, we only have, if we're only highlighting maybe one a month, well, if we have, if there's folks who, or businesses already who are potentially, I mean, you can only do one a month, so. Yeah. So, obviously you have to start somewhere.
So do we have a committee already?
No, I think we
We
have
have
to
to
establish
nominate.
a committee. So do we have a motion to establish the, sorry, go ahead.
Or you do,
Yeah,
I
please.
don't think that this belongs in community conversations. This feels like it's an own initiative. And right now it's built under,
Oh, okay.
so maybe we should
Oh.
remove it and put it in its own committee or subcommittee, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it definitely should have its own subcommittee, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I agree with that. And but in order to have all these subcommittees and this committee and that committee, like, we need to really look at the calendar and see how we want to move forward for next year. You know, so maybe what we need to discuss is the calendar and decide, do we want to keep doing a booth for 10 hours somewhere with stickers? Or do we want to move to projects or activities that are impacting the community?
And I think,
I'm like, it's hard for me to do that.
and I think there's a balance there, and we can do both. You know, if the city if city asks to, and we can definitely say no. If the city asks, would you like to be represented at a booth at whatever they might have? Depending on, you know, timing and schedules and everything, if possible, oftentimes I think it's important, but we're not always going to be able to, obviously. I do feel that we definitely need to find other ways to, as you stated, connect with people. I think that's super important as well. So I think there's, you know, there's got to be a balance. You know, and right now there's only 5 of us, you know. 6 of us, you know, yeah, I think there just needs to be the balance. and every, with every event, activity, etc., some things connect with certain folks and some things don't connect with other folks, and that's okay. And so we just have to be able to, balance all that out. So,
Should we put on the agenda for next month, a look at 2026, and everyone can come prepared with ideas on things that we should sunset and things that we should introduce, and just kind of prioritize what we want to look at in the new year?
Put this under the calendar conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I think that's great. Perfect. Okay. Anything else there? Okay. 9.1.3, supporting neurodivergence. At the August Commission meeting, Commissioner Calvin also shared the idea of raising awareness about neurodivergence. Well, he's not here, so can we move that to the next, our next meeting? Okay. Any issues or questions there? Perfect. Juneteenth subcommittee appointment. Seek interest from commission, form a subcommittee now or at a later time for the Juneteenth. We did talk about we always kind of discuss getting started earlier. So we, because we disbanded it last time, so we do need to establish it again, correct?
Yeah, whenever you're ready to begin planning, and it didn't have to be this time, I just wasn't sure if you.
Maybe we wait till we have that calendar discussion.
Okay. I will throw this out, and we still have time, but our next meeting is in November, so I will throw this out. I listened to the Civic Action Commission meeting, and they mentioned that they are moving their sponsorship outreach up in the process, because they just knowing how businesses plan, oftentimes they plan for the entire year early. And so if we're going to continue with with the large sponsorship dollars that we've done in the past, potentially getting that information out before the end of the year could be helpful, just as businesses are planning, so we can catch them early. Don't have to, but just something to think about. So I'll just kind of leave it at that.
Real quick idea, going back a topic, when Sandra talks to the Rec and Park team, should we ask them if they would be willing to partner with us on Juneteenth, so we
Oh,
can?
they would love to.
Yeah, so if they're event planning specialists, like they can do the event planning, we could bring the thought partnership, maybe when you're asking them about line up the night, maybe you could just plant the seed and see their
They would
interest.
love that. I am sure. Yep, I will.
Great. Okay, so we'll move that to the calendar conversation
Yeah.
in November 18th. Great. Anything else there? All right. Commission liaison updates, Civic Action Commission. I listened to their meeting. They had a presentation from Lindsay Dolman from the Education Commission. And she was mentioning that they would love to potentially incorporate maybe local bands, local choir, et cetera, at the summer concert series. So maybe an opening act or something of that sort. So the CAC is going to continue to have that conversation, but I think that would be, if possible, if realistic, it would be kind of cool to, maybe choir, band, potentially participate in some concert series, perhaps. But they're to be determined. The summer concert band submissions is open. It closes on November 15th. When I listened, October 1st, I already had like 25 or 26 submissions, so they're coming in fast and furious. Some of the things that they did mention, they established their committee, their music committee, and some of the things that they look at, bands, if anyone has bands that you'd like to recommend, they look at the diversity of music, sounds, et cetera, they look at cost, excitement, et cetera. So, just things to think about. And there's a $2,200 max that they've paid bands in the past. So if you have some great bands out there who are like, yeah, but they charge like $7,500. So they kind of balance everything. And they have established their music committees, or their different committees for the summer concert series. So I think when we do start to look at Juneteenth, I think it should be, whether it's Juneteenth or Pride or whatever, effort, especially with Juneteenth, if we're gonna continue the way we have, they have an experience committee, they have a sponsorship committee, they have a music decision committee, and everyone is one, at least one. So actually, I think everyone is part of one committee. So it's a complete and total group effort. That how they move things forward. Let's see, feedback. They kind of talked about some of the feedback on the shirts and things of that sort. Those as well. They did a little bit of community service day recap, and that was a great event. Once again, they actually ran out of pancakes, and they discussed logistics and things like that. So that's always a good thing. Their potential date for next year community service day is September 19th, but that's still in process. They're going to be holding a holiday house decorating contest this year. So
Like are in the neighborhoods of the
In the
city? Oh,
neighborhoods.
that's so
and they'll
fun.
be rated, graded, et cetera, et cetera. So there'll be, I think, like three, like a first winner and then a couple runner-ups. Light up the night, and there'll be letters, Santa, Halloween. I think they're going to do like a haunted trick or treat trail type thing. And then they started the discussion on what they may or may not do for Earth Day, and I think that's still in process for next year. And I think that's about it. Any questions there? Okay, moving on to Commission on Aging, Commissioner Newman.
Alrighty, so they started their meeting debriefing on the community service day, and I think as I mentioned in our last meeting, they had pulled together a group to go to people's homes that needed help with the outdoor gardening, and ultimately they served 3 homes. They had originally planned for 5, but they ended up doing 3. They had about 15 volunteers. I think a note for next year was that they needed more volunteers, but homeowners expressed a lot of gratitude. One was moved to tears. They saw it as a strong community engagement practice, and they want to do it again. It's highly impactful. They discussed an upcoming event called Connecting with Others in Your Community, and it's a workshop where they're having speakers from the Senior Center and the organization called Well Connected in the library and lifelong learning programs. So they're also going to have choice in aging and Meals and Wheels. So just a robust event for seniors. They're also having a panel on November 13th called the Navigating the End of Life Journey, where they're going to have 5 hospice and care organizations presenting on the topics, and just making sure people have the resources they need. They're going to promote it via newsletter and social media and flyers. They talked about Light Up the Night, leaning towards the ornament activity, as I mentioned. They had their liaison report out. Let's see, I think those are the major highlights. But yeah, great. Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions for Liz? Okay. Commissioner Wing Chu? I know you were absent last time, but I don't know if you.
Oh, yeah, I went to, I went to the meeting last month. So they mainly talked about, they had the librarian from the Pleasant Hill Library at the meeting last month. So I didn't know, but then he was saying that the school libraries, because of funding, some school libraries have to share librarian. And then, so he was recommending the schools to connect with the city library to get resources. And there's like a landing page that you can fill up a form and then they can pull some resources together. So that was a good connect between the city library versus the school library to support the school library because of the funding issues. And then they also mentioned that sometimes the school library gets the first dip at the donation from Friends of Library to get that first for the school before they release the books to the public at the store. So, and then the second topic that they talked about is the e-motorcycle. I think there was an article at the Outlook recently, and then I think one of the education commissioners are going to deep dive more about the policy on that topic. And then I think they talked about wanting to have maybe some of the city council members to attend some of the school events that they hosted or something like that, to engage they have the three strategic pillars: engage, communicate, and celebrate and connect. So it's one of the pillars that they're trying to connect the city with the school principals. And then they ask me every time what we're doing on the community conversation. So that's why they reached out to Sandra.
Yeah, they're ready to go.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you. Any questions for Frida? Okay, wonderful. Obviously, Alex is not here tonight, so we will hear from him on the next event. Announcements. At the October 6th council meeting, Commissioner Wang Chu was reappointed to Diversity Commission for a 4-year term. Congratulations. Thank you for your service. The Diversity Commission application was extended and interviews taking place tomorrow, October 22nd. If recommendations are made, the council could approve them by the November 3rd meeting. Looking forward to that. Juanita is still working on the recognition of Carson, and will notify the commission if once that becomes scheduled.
Oh, great.
We have received 2 additional Everyone Belong pledges from Dr. Zahid Khan and from Jessica Shimamoto. I will capture the signature of our new chair. Oh, okay. Which will be listed on the certificate.
I have to send you my signature. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, now you got a new signature.
Sorry.
And I think Lyon has something to share about Pride.
Yeah, so Rec and Park has agreed to partner with the city, which extends an invitation to the Diversity Commission too, if you all end up having the bandwidth to do a Pride celebration, and that it would still be here at City Hall somewhere, because it seemed to be a popular, just a popular central location for attendees and for those who did a booth. So there is not a date or anything selected, but I am asking if the Diversity Commission wants to be directly involved in that planning.
Could we add that to our calendar conversation for next month, please? Maybe, I don't know, just thinking out loud. Maybe there's a way that we can kind of honor and recognize both Juneteenth and Pride, but with a lighter lift on our part. So we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Especially if we have Rec and Pride already supporting with Pride. Maybe we can help out on Juneteenth as well.
Think
No.
differently about it. Yeah, I like that.
Is next year's the Thursday for the truck?
Oh.
what am I trying to say? Off the Grid has not yet announced their date. I believe they have found it to be more successful on Thursdays, but they have not officially.
What's the date of Juneteenth next year? It's a Friday?
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday, okay. So one of the things we'll have to kind of discuss is, do we want to actually, if we're going to move forward with the Juneteenth celebration, are we gonna move it to Friday to have it actually on the date, or push it back to Thursday? If we're gonna partner with Off the Grid, to have it in conjunction with Off the Grid. So things that we can comment.
How many spots are they interviewing for? 3?
My answer to your question is a little bit of a different answer, because I believe they have 2 applicants right now.
And they're, okay,
So I guess the answer to your question, I do believe there's 3 spots to be applied.
got it.
Mhm.
Just thinking like, would this be my last meeting? Sounds like not.
Okay. Any other questions about the announcements or any other announcements?
I just wanted to say that Commissioner Blanco received the National Suicide Awareness
Oh,
Proclamation in September. And for any of you, if you don't mind me inviting them to, who want to or have time to go back and watch it, it was a very moving, they were very moving remarks that she made for that proclamation. And I think it kind of brought pause to everyone in the room, so.
Thank you.
and I thank you very much, Commissioner Blanco. And I'd also, and didn't you also
Accept the indigenous.
accept it for Indigenous, which is the first time that's ever happened before. So thank you very much. Really.
True honor.
How did that go over?
It was great, you know, I chose some, like, you know my personality, so I chose some really strong words for my remark, including that, a reminder that we are in stolen land that was taken by violence and murder and other things. And that everyone should always be, conscious of that as we live in this area that was cultivated by indigenous people. That was part of my remarks, and I just, I think it's important to keep in mind where we are, that, we didn't create this land, we didn't cultivate it, but we do live here. And we should honor those that were here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Speaking of that, can I throw something else out there? And I guess this is a question for you, Leon. Would it be possible if we do a land acknowledgement at the beginning of each of our meetings? Oh, would it be
We would have to-
possible if we do a land acknowledgement at the beginning of each of our meetings?
I don't know enough about that, but I like the idea. What is it?
So-
I have a statement if you.
Please,
Well,
yeah.
I don't have it with me right now. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, I have a statement that I can use. I learned about land acknowledgements when I went to MDUSD meetings, where they make that statement first before they start any meetings. And then basically you're just acknowledging the land where we are and which group of indigenous people were here and cultivated the land, and you just make an acknowledgement that you are in their land.
That's how we start all of our board meetings, our parent board meetings at Berkeley.
Yes.
And St. Mary's College, that's how they start all their.
So do you say the same sentence every time or do you?
Yes,
change?
same
Yep.
sentence.
Yep.
yeah.
And then you draft and then.
Mhm.
So the only thing that I realized is just following Brown Act, what you all can do is have it added to the next meeting, right? It always has
Yeah.
to, public has to be notified that you want to discuss this so that
Okay.
they could provide input and show up if they wanted.
Okay.
But I can do that if you.
Yes, please,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Cool, great idea. I'd never heard of that before. I love it.
But do you have to draft that statement now before we can say it next time?
No, you can't say it next time
We have to
as a
do it.
commission.
Oh.
You can add it to the agenda
Mhm.
next time and discuss
And then-
if that's something.
That
you
would be
want.
for
But
the
you could-
earliest would be.
So we say in December.
But someone could bring a draft.
Yeah,
Should I share the draft that I have via email to you?
and I can push it out. if
Okay,
you want.
and then you all can look at it.
Is specific to Pleasant Hill.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
This is the marathon.
I know, dang, 9 o'clock.
Sorry.
Well, we missed the last 2 meetings, so we don't want to cover.
Thank you very much. Thank you for, going over a little bit, but we had a wonderful, discussion with Dr. Richardson and, congratulations, Liz.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I think we can adjourn. Thank you all for participating in tonight's meeting. The time is 8:43 PM, and we are now adjourned to our next regular meeting, scheduled for November 18th, 2025.